with that.
And shut the fuck up. I don't have to be a scientist to read research to understand that they were spraying DDT all over the fucking country when everybody was getting polio. Do you know that?
Yes,
you know
I do.
the first
Yes,
instances of polio, they happened in rural communities where they were all farmland and agriculture, and then cows were getting them, and horses were getting them, and dogs were getting them.
Let me make a statement.
They were calling it paralytic polio.
Do you agree with the following statement? It's not just...
I'm not going to do this with you,
but
Brian.
it's not just about...
I brought up vaccines.
It's not just about... Hold on, Joe.
No, Brian, I don't want to do this with
but
you.
it's not just about...
We're in the middle of a fight companion. It's annoying.
All right, but it's like... Yeah.
Yaps. It's in the name.
Let's get to the bottom of
like
that.
anorexia.
What's causing all that? How come 1 in every 12 kids who's a boy in California has autism now?
That's insane. That has been such an exponential rise of kids with different levels of autism. So much so that now it's like people joke around of like, well, maybe it's just undiagnosed autism. Like Lo and I even have a joke when we start spazzing out or just feeling herka-durka around the house. You know, your girlfriend, sometimes you guys just feel like a silly mood. We're like, oh, autism is showing. It has to be. Like, it's our undiagnosed autism because we're all fucking freaks and geeks over here, right?
Because that's
somewhere on the spectrum.
What's going on? That's what's going on in California, which has one of the strictest fucking vaccine policies. 1 in 12. Did I say vaccines cause autism? Maybe I will.
Well, let's go down the rabbit hole. Do vaccines cause autism? All I gotta say is that when, at least here in America, in the first, I gotta get out of that voice. In the first like 18 months of like being birthed, right, being out of mama's belly or in mama's out, you got this like 76 shots. It's insane. And I'm not saying that like there's a direct correlation, but I find it interesting that there's not like when they do studies about like what is this medicine going to do to you, it's in like a control group of like, okay, this is what the medicine is doing. There's no real control group of what happens when 76 different ones go into the body within a short period of time and all have different levels of things that the body doesn't really mesh well with. It could be causing some side effects, and I think we're gonna come out in the near future, especially with RFK, him grilling Congress, that there may be some legitimacy to this bald man's claim.
RFK's getting to that,
Yeah.
And now Florida doesn't demand vaccines for kids.
That's dangerous to me.
Yeah.
Of course, he thinks it's dangerous, and maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. But if that's the reality, in a 10 to 20 year time span, let's look at California and Florida and see where there's more autism. And I think we're gonna have a real hard conversation about what is going on.
I knew you'd jump on that train.
Of course, it's dangerous, Brian. What are you talking about?
Tetanus,
Tetanus. No.
Just go down the road wrong?
You need to bail on the tetanus thing because Suzanne Humphreys.
Educate his ass.
Suzanne Humphreys explained tetanus.
She's not a vaccinologist. I know that woman. What are you talking about? So you're saying
she's a
shouldn't have
medical
vaccines?
doctor that absolutely understands tetanus. She said tetanus, all you have to do is keep the wound open and clean it.
Oh, that's
you
such
don't,
bullshit.
It's not
Oh my
bullshit.
God,
it's
what
not bullshit. Do you know how many people die of tetanus
Holy
every year?
fucking
Very
shit.
few.
What about
Just
Okay,
stop.
so let me ask you a question, Mr. Joe Rogan, Mr. Scientist. Are you saying that we shouldn't have...
Don't do that. Don't call me Mr. Scientist. I'll start mocking you, and it's so much easier to mock you.
So are we not... So you don't believe in vaccines? You don't think we should have vaccines?
It's not that I don't believe in vaccines.
So what are you saying?
It's I don't think you
74.
should give a kid a Hep B vaccine when they're a baby.
Different subject.
I don't, no, you have to, MMA vaccine.
This is the thing with totally Joe. I am 100% on Joe Rogan's side on this. Where it's, and we were even talking about this in a recent video that I just did. Subscribe if you haven't. We put out lots of videos. Some of the greatest, if I do say so myself. But many others probably would not agree. But why are we giving hepatitis B, which is like an STD, if the mom is like does not have it in the body, the baby's for sure not going to get it. Why are we giving it to them within the first 18 months of their life? It's something we can wait years down the road. And it's not all or one. It's not like you don't give any of the 76 ones. Like tetanus is probably a good one to give the baby, I think. I don't know. But, you know, maybe not all of them. I'm just saying maybe limit it down to like a few handful of vaccines instead of 76 different ones.
Is absolutely connected to a host of serious, debilitating fucking problems that kids have gotten from them. There's a lot of problems because they don't test vaccines in a double-blind, placebo-controlled setting.
Hold it.
They test them against other vaccines. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. Excuse me. Let me just say something. Yes, you're right. You can make the argument for Hep B. Here's why. Because the chances of a child coming in contact with the kind of activity that causes Hep B is different. So now you say,
Sexually transmitted disease and
right.
needles.
So now
Yes. So why are we giving that to a baby?
you say this. You say this.
I'm just a baby.
That chance is zero. The chance for vaccine injury with the Hep B is not zero. Is non-zero. Okay. So I understand that math. Okay. What I'm trying to say to you is that there are certain diseases. Pick up a history book. Smallpox. Diphtheria, mumps.
Have you ever looked at
tetanus,
how-
polio, paralytic diseases?
Have you ever polio? Please
Yes.
stop.
No,
You
I
don't-
won't. I
no,
won't.
No,
I know you
Brian,
think it's
Brian,
just.
Brian,
I've read.
Brian,
I've heard.
Brian,
I've heard
Brian,
Susan
Brian.
Humphreys.
This is a long conversation that we're not going to have on this podcast
Right.
because I'm going to get angry because I've researched this for years.
Right.
Let's just.
But you're not a scientist.
I don't have to be a scientist
do.
to know that.
Yes, you do.
No, Brian.
Oh my god! This is one of the things where I disagree with Brian. Where if somebody is interested in something and they spend years and years on that subject, learning about that subject, and that's not their profession, that doesn't make their opinion any less valid than somebody who is. Now, they have to have the time, the experience, and the wherewithal. But to say that someone's opinion who's done research, who spent time in it, who's genuinely passionate about it, is invalid, I roll my eyes with that.
And shut the fuck up. I don't have to be a scientist to read research to understand that they were spraying DDT all over the fucking country when everybody was getting polio. Do you know that?
Yes,
you know
I do.
the first
Yes, I
instances
do.
of polio, they happened in rural communities where there were all farmland and agriculture, and then cows were getting them, and horses were getting them, and dogs were getting them.
Let me make a statement.
They
Let me
were
ask you,
calling it paralytic polio.
do you agree with the following statement? It's not just.
I'm not gonna do this with you,
but
Brian.
it's not just about.
I brought up
It's not
vaccines,
just
so that'd
about.
be a
Hold
fun
on,
debate.
hold on.
No,
It's
Brian,
not
I don't want to
ju-
do this with
but
you.
it's not
I don't wanna
just
do this.
about-
We're in
is
the
it-
middle of a fight companion.
All right.
It's annoying.
All right, but it's like, I don't
Yeah,
get it. Yeah. Being
So, but-
anti-vax.
but-
Being
but-
anti-vax
No
is
one's
irresponsible.
anti-vax,
It's
Brian.
not anti-vax. Questioning why there's so many though.
My kids are all vaccinated.
That's boom. Thank you. Brendan was at least coming in with some sense. Come on, Big Papa.
And they're vaccinated, but they went on a delayed schedule. They delayed
So did
schedule.
mine. So did
you're
mine.
not.
So did
You're
mine.
not? Yeah.
you're not. No.
Yeah, good for you. I don't think you need to.
No, they're healthy as fuck.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they have 12 touchdowns this week. 2 home runs.
I think the problem is that the pharmaceutical drug companies have an exemption because of what they did in the 1980s with Reagan, where they allowed them to never worry about being sued. And that's when they ramped up the fucking schedule. And that's also the correlation. When you look at all the fucking host of all sorts of diseases and issues
Just
that
look
start
at
happening with kids.
autism. It's through the
Autism
fucking
is just
roof.
one. There's a lot of other autoimmune issues. There's a lot of like.
That's a good one too. If it's not autism, I know so many people, mostly white bitches, who claim they have autoimmune disease. And I shouldn't say claim, probably do, but you know.
Serious problems.
I think there are 3 things that have pushed us beyond our biology, and the reason we don't have a lot of children dying: nutrition, sanitation, and vaccines. And I think anybody who says otherwise is, I think it's crazy.
But you can't say all vaccines be.
I didn't say all vaccines.
But
I get
he's
very-
not saying all
I get very
vaccines.
worried when
But
people
he's not
start
saying all
saying
vaccines.
It sounds like he is.
Brian, you don't know what the fuck I'm saying. You don't.
Well, I know because you don't want to talk about it.
Brian, I don't want to talk about it in the middle of a podcast because it'll completely derail the podcast. And I'll start showing you statistics. If you look at when people stop getting all of these diseases and then when the introduction of vaccines happen, it's at the end, after the diseases have already gone through the population. Most of those diseases were eradicated by sanitation and nutrition.
Yes,
There was a
that's correct.
huge problem in this country.
It is crazy how good just washing your hands, cleaning your body, brushing your teeth, being, just a keeping up good basic hygiene and good health, running, fitness, good diet, how much that will do for you just longevity wise.
People were living in fucking squalor.
I agree, but there's still pathogens that are very dangerous.
Sure there are.
So-
Brian.
so-
The problem is that these pharmaceutical drug companies are fucking insanely, entirely corrupt. They have been corrupt for a long fucking time, and there's a revolving door between the FDA and these pharmaceutical drug corporations. They go from the FDA into these positions. They have this golden parachute, and then they ramp up the fucking schedule every year, and it's not about public health. None of it is about looking out for you. All of it is about making money.
That I mean that's 100% true. The pharmaceutical companies are not looking out for public health. They're just looking out for their stockholders and their investors, and the people in charge. And they have no real. If they mess up, they can't get sued. It's insane. It's actually kind of insane the autonomy that the big pharmaceutical company really does have, and it does seem like it's one of those like legs that prop up just America's crazy GDP. But even with that said, it's not, they're 98% evil, but 2% has done very good things, right? We can't overlook a lot of the medical development and the medical, just progress that we've had over the course of 100 years, and the next 100 years are going to be even more insane. So it's not to say that all of the things that come out of that corrupt system is bad. We're just saying that the system itself is corrupt and it could be so much better. But I honestly, Joe summed it up there perfectly, where it's like the public health system, at least here in America, is not about keeping the public healthy. If it was, we wouldn't get continuously unhealthy with generation after generation. Because it's really not that hard. It's just eat clean and move. You don't have to be the fittest person in the room. I want to be the biggest, strongest, best version of myself. That's my goal. My challenge to you is just be 1% better than you were yesterday. That's it. But with that said, make sure you share this video with a friend, lose some brain cells. Let me know what you guys think about this freaking rabbit hole. This video is probably going to get me suppressed on YouTube, but that's here nor there. It's something I want to yap about, I have an opinion about, and well, I like sharing my unsolicited opinions here on the internet. So with that said, I challenge you guys, make somebody laugh today, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!